Hi, I'm Jennifer from Shabby Fabrics. Today I'm going to talk to you about a product that is exclusive to Shabby Fabrics and is called Shabby Shapes. Now, what's Shabby Shapes? Well, you know that we offer beautiful kits and fabrics, but I also realize that you might want to just be able to buy shapes and use them for any project that you already have going, maybe a backpack, a valance, a pillow, or anything that you can imagine. Now, behind me are several different Shabby Shapes. We've got hearts, cupcakes, cute little dinosaurs, owls, turtles. Now before me are a bunch of ribbons. So if you are maybe sewing a project for someone that maybe has breast cancer or another form of cancer, we have a beautiful array of ribbons. And on the website we have in the description what those cancers might be, that color. For example, I know for like colon cancer, this teal. For breast cancer, of course, it's pink. We also even have some autism ribbons for families that may be working through autism. So let me show you. Obviously, you're going to dream up your own project, but I wanted to give you some ideas of how you can stitch the Shabby Shapes down to your background fabric. Now you can of course choose coordinating colors, and when you do the coordinating colors, I love to work with the Masterpiece thread. That's from Superior Threads. Now they have 75 beautiful colors, so if you like to coordinate thread, you might want to pick up the color cards, because then these are live threads on the card and you can match that to your fabric and decide what color you need to order. Or if you don't want to change out your thread, you might want to consider the monopoly. This is from Superior Threads. There's clear, and then there's, I believe that's called smoke. So on these types of projects, you know, I'd be using probably the clear, but if say you're working with a black or a dark gray, you'd want to be choosing the smoke. The monopoly is for the top of your machine, but I don't recommend that for the bottom. For the bottom, Superior Threads makes another product called Bottom Line. Now this is a pack of 5 colors and neutrals, and I have found, because the bottom line thread is so thin, you really can get away with using this in any project. In fact, the ones that are behind us were stitched down with the bottom line and the bobbin in these colors. So this is a great one to have just in your you know, kind of in your thread kit. It's going to range from the dark all the way to the light. Now, some other fun threads to do, and I want to show you the bottom of the cupcake. Notice the beautiful iridescent color. We did that with a really pretty, it's called Sliver Metallic. This is a sulky product, and this is in the opal color. Look how it just makes that cupcake bottom have a little bit of an extra glitz and a shimmer. I think it's just really gorgeous. So that's another one you can pick up as well. Now, one of the most common stitches that we like to stitch Shabby Shapes down with is a blanket stitch. Your machine may or may not have that stitch, so maybe choose something else if you don't have it. But if you do have it, let me show you how I like to use that stitch, and then you can get more comfortable. Of course, practice on some scrap fabric before you do that with your actual Shabby Shape on your background fabric. But it's very easy to master. Now, the first thing you'll want to do before you stitch anything down, of course, is you'll get your background fabric, and we chose this really pretty ombre today. When you get your Shabby Shapes, they come in a pack like this. In fact, let me just show you what's in the pack so you'll see you have a lot of choices. This is the fun part, is what combinations of the bottom and the top and the ears, in this case, like the elephant. Let me bring that up too. Some of these shapes are definitely directional, like the elephant. In that pack, you'll have some elephants going to the right, some going to the left. Be sure to pick the ear that matches the elephant going in that direction. So you'll just have to kind of lay things out and see the proper orientation to know what goes with what. But this is what you'll get in your package. So when that comes out, you have all of your tops, and you can just separate those out. Everything is pre-fused and laser cut with heat and bond light. And we do cut with just one layer at a time. Why is that important? Because you don't get any burning around the edge or any unpleasant odor. You may have gotten laser cut shapes from other companies that cut in much more bulk, And sometimes when I've done that, I've seen some discoloration, even an unpleasant odor, kind of a smoky smell. We cut in single layers so that doesn't happen. So you're getting a great quality product from Shabby Fabrics. For certain shapes that have multiples, such as the candle here, we will cut those all in one group and then you just simply pop those out. So when you get this, for example, you'll just pop those out. So enough said about that. You see how this comes, your cake bottoms, your flames, your candles. Let's put that aside. The combination I picked today, and isn't it fun to be able to pick the combos? Let your kids help you with that. Let them be involved. Of course, I don't recommend them touching the iron, but let them maybe choose the combinations, and then they can get excited about the craft project that you're working on, because it might even be for them. So you'll just want to position this, and when you get your shapes, you'll just peel this back like this and just peel it away. I like to use a medium heat iron. We'll just position that there. I like to lay everything out and then iron everything all at once versus ironing everything one by one. I like that I want to see the whole picture first and make sure that's exactly where I want it. And then in one fell swoop, I'll come in with my iron. I like to hold that in place about 6 to 8 seconds. Don't be tempted to use an iron that's too hot. Using an iron that's too hot or repeated ironings can make any fusible webbing fail. So don't get too hot, just a nice medium setting. Don't do this either. Notice how I press. I don't swish this back and forth. Okay, and that's will cool. Now for the stem, this is where I love to use that friction pen. I'll just draw in a little cute little stem in here. And I can use my embroidery needles and some embroidery floss, or you can even do that on your machine if you want to stitch that down. Now, I'm going to show you the blanket stitch today because I want to show you how to pivot around corners. And I'm going to go ahead and do the curves. Those are the hardest part. So let's do that together. So if you've never used this stitch on your sewing machine, now's your chance. All right, let's go to that machine. If you have a sewing machine that has a needle down position, use it. This is definitely the time to use that. Okay. This is not a fast process. There's a lot of pivoting. I'm already at the place I need to pivot first. And it's a small little pivot. So let's again pivot and we'll continue. Stop and pivot. And you'll just continue all the way around and finish up your project. Now, notice I chose a white, and I primarily chose the white just so that you'd be able to see it. But you could be choosing a hot pink so that you don't see it, but I figure if you're going to be doing a blanket stitch, you want people to see that. So that is a fun way to finish shabby shapes. You could use a zigzag, you could use a straight stitch. Let your imagination go and have fun with the shabby shapes. And if you ever have a request for a shabby shape that we currently don't offer, please let us know. In fact, that's how we came to have the autism ribbons. Is a mom had emailed that you have all these great breast cancer ribbons and all these other cancer ribbons, but what about my child who's autistic? I would love to be able to do a special project for my child. What about autistic ribbons? And I found some fabric and made them. So if you have suggestions, please keep them coming. Support at shabbyfabrics.com. Thanks for letting me show you how to use our shabby shapes, available from shabbyfabrics.com.